The stories in the Quran are engaging and teach lessons. God said, "We relate to you, O Muhammad, the best of stories in what we have revealed to you of this Quran, although you were before it among the unaware." One of these meaningful stories is about the people of the Sabbath. Let's learn what happened and how God punished them. Let's find out in our story today. The story of the people of the Sabbath and their severe punishment from God. This story took place in a village called Aylah, located by the shores of the Red Sea. Ibn Abbas mentioned that during the time of Prophet David, peace be upon him, a group of the children of Israel lived in a village on the coast between Egypt and Hattin, known as Aylah. This indicates that the people in the village were from the children of Israel. It is well known that the children of Israel were known for breaking their covenants and not abiding by them. The inhabitants of this village were primarily fishermen, and God had forbidden them from fishing on the Sabbath. This was the beginning of their downfall. The villagers noticed that whales only came to their shore on Saturdays. However, since God forbade them from fishing or working on this day, no one dared to approach the shore and catch the whales. The strange thing was that the whales only appeared on Saturdays. So, on the following day, there were no whales on the shore. This continued until one of the village residents came up with a cunning plan. He tied one of the whales near the shore in a way that it couldn't escape, without catching it to avoid disobeying God's command. On the following Saturday morning, while everyone was heading for fishing, this man went ahead and caught the whale for himself. He continued this act every Saturday. As the villagers learned about his actions, they decided to do the same discreetly. However, they were not openly defying God's command, and surprisingly, God did not punish them for what they were doing. But after a while, the forbidden act escalated, and the villagers began openly hunting whales and selling them in the markets, disregarding God's orders not to fish on Saturdays. In this regard, our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Do not do as the Jews did, for they made lawful what God had forbidden by using deceitful methods." Allah the Almighty also said in his noble book, "And ask them about the town that was by the sea, when they transgressed in the matter of the Sabbath, when their fish came to them openly on their Sabbath day, and the day they had no Sabbath they did not come to them. Thus we gave them trial because they were defiantly disobedient." The characteristics of the children of Israel included deceit, deception, and cunning. From the events mentioned earlier, we discover the deceit and trickery used to violate what God had forbidden. For this reason, the Prophet, peace be upon him, always warned his followers against these traits that anger Allah and do not belong to the religion of Islam. Al-Shawkani mentioned what the children of Israel did. They deceived to catch fish by digging pits and cutting channels. The whales would enter these on Saturday, and they would catch them on Sunday. Some people in the village began warning their fellow residents who were catching whales on Saturdays about the wrath of Allah. In this regard, Allah said in his noble book, and mentioned when a community among them said, "Why do you advise or warn a people whom Allah is about to destroy or punish with a severe punishment?" They, the advisors, said, "To be absolved before your Lord, and perhaps they may fear him." It is also said that the group that refrained from committing sins built a wall between them and those who violated Allah's command in the village. When the punishment of Allah came upon them, those who followed Allah's orders were not affected. The punishment from Allah was severe beyond imagination. Allah transformed them into monkeys, yet with human intellects. This was to make them realize the extent of Allah's wrath and to serve as a punishment for their deceit and actions that Allah had forbidden. Those who defied Allah's command in the village were turned into monkeys for 3 days. They neither ate nor drank and were unable to reproduce. Eventually, they all died as a consequence of their actions and disobedience to their Lord. Allah the Almighty said in his noble book, "But when they forgot that by which they had been reminded, we saved those who had forbidden evil and seized those who wronged, with a wretched punishment for their disobedience." Through this verse, we understand that Allah did not destroy all the people of the village. Instead, He saved those who believed and did not disobey Allah's command. As for the rest, they faced a painful punishment as a consequence of their deeds. As we conclude our narrative, we kindly invite our esteemed viewers to show support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Additionally, ensure to activate the notification bell to stay updated with our latest releases. Thank you for your continued engagement and enthusiasm.